and we hit it off very well. We were just, he had a good set. I liked what he had. And we just became best friends after that, man. And, we started skateboarding together. I started going to work with him every once in a while. And we just got very close. We got to know each other very well.
How long did you guys know each other for?
Pretty well, man. It was one of my closest friends I made. So we did a lot together. We went out to eat. I met his family. We did a 4th of July party at his parents' house. I never got to ride with him on motorcycles, though, because he said, I asked him one time, I was like, hey, can I get a ride with you? He was like, no, that's gay. So it's like, but.
Sounds like the right move.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks, man. I was at Shakers, and that's when I heard that this guy, I don't know if I've ever met him. The scene is so big,
Yeah.
But I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear about that, what you're from. Have you made other friends in comedies?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Do
you have your crew?
Yeah, my crew, finally.
Who's your crew?
I got right now, my crew essentially is me, Matt Bowe, who's a comic from Pittsburgh, Munchie, I think that's his stage name, or it might be his actual name.
Okay.
I never figured it out. Kat Diaz, Damon Howard, Samir Abdul.
Yeah, wow. I don't know enough people in the scene. Even after all of these episodes, I still have I can't even.
We're a little bit new.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're new guys.
Well, if I remember correctly, okay, I want to see if I remember when we first met. It was outside that theater open mic, and you had just come back from New York.
Yes.
But I thought you were from New York.
I am from New York.
Okay, so you are from New York. You're not from Chicago.
No, I'm from Brooklyn.
Who the fuck told me? Whatever. Okay, so you're from New York originally. And I'm assuming you started the comedy out there.
For a little bit.
That is the strange. So I'm from California.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime, when I moved out here, anytime I would say I was from California, people would be like, why the fuck would you move?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, they call us the second city for a reason. On California and everyone's like, oh, LA.
Yeah.
My reasoning was, one, I wanted to get the fuck away from everyone and everything I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something different. And LA, the quality of the comedians seems to be lower relative to Chicago.
Yeah.
So that was my logic. But what was yours?
They in New York, I feel like it could be the same for LA, if I'm not wrong. They portray the comedy scene to be amazing. You see all over Instagram, maybe for you Laugh Factory or maybe the Improv. But back in New York, we got the Comedy Cellar. Or you'd have the Comedy Store, and they portray it so well. It's this is a great place to get started. Then you move to New York, it's not what you think it is. Don't get me wrong, it's a great city. I have a lot of love for New York, but it's really hard if you want to be any sort of artist over there. If you're starting off with it.
Why?
So much competition. It's competition at that point. You're fighting for a spot. Unlike here, it's I have a show this day and that day. You will not get a lot of showtime if you go there too early, or if you just start as a new comedian or an artist there. It's harder than it actually looks.
I can see that. So it's like you wanted to come to a place where you had the space to grow as a comic.
I want to grow, then I'll move back out.
How long had you been doing comedy out there for?
Wow. From August of 2022 to November when I moved here. August, September.
That was not a long time.
It's 4 months now.
Okay, and you're a COVID comic. You started post-com.
A little bit. I used to live here for the pandemic before I moved back to New York.
Okay, so you, from New York, lived here pre-pandemic, pre-comedy, moved back to New York, started comedy, then moved here for comedy.
Yes.
I'm piecing it together. Okay. 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 Why did you start? What made you start? Why were you in Chicago and then moved? What was going on?
Why was I in Chicago? Well, it's a bit of a long story.
We got time.
I know we got time. I'll tell you the whole thing. When I was 19, my mom passed away from cancer. And at the time, I was playing baseball in college. I kind of liked it. I was at a community college called Kingsborough in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. And, after my mom died, I didn't really know what to do. So I went to my dad for help. And he's not a bad guy. He just wanted to help in his own way. So he sent me to rehab.
For what?
I wasn't a drug addict. That's the funny part.
Okay.
It was for mental health reasons, but I don't think he wanted me. And I was there for 11 months, and I'm surprised I came out of there alive. Because I should have been dead down there.
Why? I'm seeing a scar.
That's what they are.
You did that or someone else?
I did that.
Okay, let's break this down, I guess.
Yeah, so I was very in a very depressing state. I did not like it. I was not like rehabs in Florida are horrible.
Okay. All right, he sent you to a rehab in Florida.
Yes, Florida. Yes.
I feel like those shouldn't exist in Florida.
They
That's
shouldn't.
the wrong place.
They don't care about you. They just want your insurance money.
Okay.
They don't care about the help you get. They're there for money. They don't care.
Okay.
So it was it was quite depressing being down there because I didn't have any family members there. I had no one to help, and apparently for the first few months, my other family members didn't know where I was. So my dad refused to tell anyone. He's kind of an asshole.
I'm guessing he's not gonna watch this.
No, he's not one of my favorites, but I love him. I have to. But yeah, I cut myself because I just didn't think anything was gonna be good for me. I didn't see any what do you call it? I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel for me being down there.
So that opens up a lot of different angles of this. So
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna break this down. When you were 19, you were playing baseball, your community college. You seemed happy.
Ish.
Okay, just being 19, playing baseball.
Yeah.
Your mom passed away. Then you were looking for support from your dad, who believed the solution was sending you to a drug rehab in Florida.
Yeah.
Can you break down his logic at all? Like, what was he?
It's so crazy because I don't know why he sent me. I never asked. I never bothered asking. It was just impulsivity, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So he just came up and said, you're going to go to rehab.
Yeah. Well, I was in the hospital, but for a suicide attempt.
Okay.
But yeah, I forgot to mention that. But it wasn't enough to send me to a rehab.
Okay. So you've had suicidal ideations prior to
yeah.
What was going on? Like what was? You're right. When you came in and I was like, the vibe of the podcast, and you're like, yeah, sad. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Very serious.
Just being real.
Very very real podcast. This is the sad podcast. You go to other podcasts for laughter. You come here to cry.
Come here to cry, dude.
But so what was going on? Suicidal ideations.
I was just depressed. I missed my mom. My dad didn't really want to step in. And, I was in the hospital for a week. And that's right after my week, he was like, hey, you're going to rehab. I'm like, I'm not a drug addict. Mm-hmm. But I went anyway. So I wasn't able to get discharged unless I went.
What is your culture, your background? Where are you from?
Cuban and Syrian.
Cuban Syrian, okay. I can say pretty confidently in the black community, we do not approach mental health in the best way.
Yeah, what you think about it?
Is it a similar thing?
I feel like I feel like, funny that you mention it, y'all think about it, but you don't, act on it. Right?
It's more like there's a stigma in terms of the foundations that are there to help you.
Yeah.
It's like, suck it up, just keep going. You're
pretty
fine.
much, yeah.
Similar thing?
Similar thing. Especially for men, it's like...
Yeah. For men in particular, there's this... I hate to even give it any validity, but there's a strength amongst just men of color because there's no break. You just have to power through every goddamn thing. And so there's a type of strength that develops from that, but then you end up wanting to kill yourself, and then that's not fun. So
yeah.
Do you feel like you were just down?
I was down.
Yeah.
Very down. There was no hope at that time.
Why did it feel... How old are you now?
25.
25. Okay. Oh, you're young.
I'm a young boy. The beard just makes me look like I'm 30.
Yeah, very grown. It's the beard and the contradiction of the hat. But, you're 19, 25. So you're sad, you're down, and didn't know what to do. What was that feeling like? Like to really get to a place where I'm going to try to do this?
Very alone. You feel like nobody cares, but they do. But you don't see it because your own thoughts are blocking that view of people do care about me, but they also don't. It's I had a whole barricade. I was looking at a wall, and on the other side were people that cared about me, and I didn't see it.
And at the time, did you have a goal, like because you were going in college? Did you have like a career goal, or was that?
I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest. But right after rehab, I went to like a few different places to get better treatment. I worked upstate, and then I saw my friend. My first sign of seeing someone doing stand-up comedy, I was working upstate at a camp in Rhinebeck called Camp Ramapo for Children. And my friend who was there he did comedy. He wasn't like wanted to be a comedian, but he was a funny dude named Daniel. And I saw him do an open mic in Poughkeepsie. And I was like, oh, it's funny. Like, and that's like my first sign of seeing someone doing stand-up. I was like, I kind of like that. But I didn't really pursue it at the time. Until I moved to Chicago during the pandemic. I saw Anthony Bonazzo. You know Anthony Bonazzo?
I know that name. I'd have to see.
Yeah, so he's my friend of my sister's. I watched him do like a hour at Zany's. And that's when I was like hooked. I was like, I want to do this.
What was it about seeing somebody else do it that made you want to?
It's like the way like he gets people get the attention of like getting laughter. We seek validation, and I wanted that, but I'm willing to put in the work for it.
Do you feel like you seek validation now?
Yeah, sometimes, once in a while, when I get it, it feels good.
Yeah.
But once in a while, I'll get validation.
Okay. All right. And
Bit of a jump.
You said what?
Bit of a jump.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's stand-up is one of those weird art forms where obviously everyone needs some sense of validation and people to like what you do or whatever.
Yeah.
But stand-up is so it's different.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to, I don't know, do you do any other art forms?
I'm trying to get into acting.
Okay.
But just I'm thinking about it.
Well, I started learning how to draw, and there's no the type of validation I get from that if I show somebody my drawing it's not the same as laughter or boos or no laughter. There's something really visceral about stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel like I guess on the mental illness level, do you think that's part of why or do you even feel mentally ill? Am I putting that on you?
I mean, I have problems, but I'm able to push through it now. I'm able to know, hey, you have to have this type of thought process to stop doing all the bad things you do.
What bad things?
Well, if I wanted to end my life, I know the process of me not wanting to do it. Talk my way through it. Talk to someone. Ask for help.
Yeah.
But I'm able to control most of what goes on in my head now, or how I act on it now.
Okay. And then you're relatively new to comedy. It's been like a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Okay. And how are you liking it?
I like it, man. I like the scene a lot, especially because here it's we all love each other, we all support each other.
It's not like that in New York.
In New York, dude, it's tough love type shit.
I want to visit so bad, man. I'm so curious.
A good place to visit in New York if you're doing comedy, it's a Tiny Cupboard.
Oh, okay. What's that?
It's a indie comedy venue in Bushwick. It's a good place to you have to pay for the open mics. I don't know if you knew about that.
I've heard tell. Can you?
They're clubs will charge you $5
to get on stage to open mic
for 5 minutes. Yeah, or plus a drink.
That's insane. Why?
But people ask me why'd you move from New York to Chicago? It's there's so many reasons. I don't want to pay for an open mic. I don't have that type of money.
Right.
And I was asking my friends for cash. It's bad, just so I can get a career in this. And it's too much competition.
Yeah.
There's not there's support, but there's not. It's too much competition. I loved New York. I loved the comedy scene there. It just wasn't. I didn't want to start there.
Okay, that's fair. And you don't plan on moving to LA?
No. Well, I'll visit LA. I want to move to LA.
So it's make a name for yourself out here, then move back to New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like the city itself? Outside of comedy?
I love the city. It's small, bigger than Boston, smaller than New York. It's cleaner. People are friendlier here. People are friendly in Chicago, and I'm not used to it.
You're not used to people being like.
No, but I also like it.
You said what?
I also like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, my bad. Okay. And then you said you had your friend group and you guys are all all new to comedy?
Newish, yeah.
Yeah. And who would you say who? Like what was the names of those people? Because I don't know.
I said Matt Munchie, Harold Patrick.
Okay, I did a podcast with him.
I saw that one.
Okay.
He's good.
Oh yeah, he's out there. Yeah. He's very
good.
He doesn't give a fuck. He's just doing his thing.
I wish I had that I don't give a fuck mentality.
You feel like you give a lot of fucks?
Not a lot, but I give some. I want to give 0 fucks.
I relate to that. I definitely give many fucks. I mean, my shit's all emotional, so it's like I have to care for the material to work.
Work, yeah, right?
Yeah. But then if it doesn't work out, it hurts that much more because you're not doing one-liners or random asides. It's like, no, this is my real feelings on stuff, and you're not connecting with it, and it can hurt in that way.
Yeah.
But where does your, I guess you're a year and a half. You're still developing your style and your voice.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you feel about your comedy right now?
It could be better.
Yeah.
It could be a little better, but I mean, I'm working towards it. I feel like a lot of other comics are mad that I have a big following.
Why do you think that?
I just overheard it. It was like, oh, like they're just mad. They don't hate you. It's like they're mad that you have a big following and you suck at comedy. It's like, oh, I'm doing something right then.
How did you get a big? What is your following?
I have on TikTok. I have 1 million followers.
God damn. Okay.
On Instagram, I have 44,000. On YouTube, I have 67,000.
So how did you pull that off?
I was a content creator before I was a comedian.
Okay.
I just started posting shit.
Okay. Well, so like funny TikToks and shit.
Like skits.
Okay. And is that something you're gonna keep leaning into to try to?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
I want to like mix it up a little bit to see where I can go with like what can I do with content and then with comedy. How can I combine them together?
Right. And you feel like you're getting hate on that?
Not hate. It's more like, damn, he has a big following and he sucks. What the fuck? Yeah. I don't see him getting hate. It's just like damn, he has a big following, but he's not the best at comedy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hate.
This is why I've been trying to stay away from social media. Like I have that instinct. If I get on TikTok or Instagram and I scroll too much and I see other people that I know doing like crazy shit,
yeah,
I immediately like this fucking anger and this resentment will start to bubble up. I'll be like, well, why he's getting this, but why am I not getting this?
Yeah.
And so I've just very much disconnected from Instagram specifically. Like I'll post it and I will not fucking look at it.
That's also funny 'cause that's me too. I'll post to TikTok or Instagram, but I don't care how much it gets. I just leave it.
It seems like you care less about the social media and you care more about the comedy.
I do care more about comedy.
I mean, if so much is coming from the social media, why is it that you care more about the comedy?
Because I want to be a good comedian. I want, I'm very like, I want to be a good comedian. I want my voice to be heard. What I'm leaning more into in comedy is I'm in pain, but I want you to laugh at like the fact that I'm gonna be okay.
I'm in pain, but I want you to laugh at the fact I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Like, I'm okay. You can laugh that I'm going to be okay, but I'm still in pain.
Where's that pain coming from?
Not being understood by people.
Good thing you're on this podcast to be understood. In what way do you feel misunderstood?
I'm slow. I'm very slow.
Like mentally?
Yeah, mentally.
Like you're diagnosed or something?
Yeah, I have autism and ADHD.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Please keep going.
What? No. Sometimes it takes me a while to like process information, and it takes me a while to like understand or listen. Mm-hmm. So if I like ever talk to someone and I kind of like zone out, maybe the conversation is boring.
Yeah.
But it's not like my intention to like zone out. And I try saying, "Hey, can you repeat that?" I apologize, and they get mad about it. It's like, okay, fuck.
It's like you're not trying to be rude. You're doing your best.
I'm just slow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get you. I think I relate to the feeling misunderstood part.
Yeah.
For me, it's been more on a racial level. Like if you don't fit into any particular category, too black for the white kids, too white for the black kids, all that bullshit. And then I don't know if you know this, I have a memory issue.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, listeners, because everybody who listens to this consistently has heard this shit over and over again. So I will summarize it. Traumatic childhood, shitty memory, too much weed, shitty memory, and getting sucker punched in the back of the head.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bullshit. In 2020, some dude was mad about a joke or something, and he snuck up behind me. Yeah.
He hit you on stage?
No, I was street performing because this was during the pandemic.
Oh, shoot.
So I finished. I packed all my stuff up. I'm sitting there talking, and then he snuck up. I don't even know what this guy looks like. He snuck up behind me, hit me in the head. So I have a really bad memory. So I won't remember people's names. I'll forget whole conversations.
The names. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you have problem with names?
I forget everyone's names. Like, it's so mad. It's like,
yeah.
I'm not asking you your weight, ma'am.
Yeah, it's a big city. There's a lot of people.
There's a billion of us on this planet. I'm not going to remember everyone.
Have you ran into some people that got mad at you about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to say names, but if people are like, how do you not know my name? It's like, because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember shit.
Yeah, that's such a... and I'm going to lump those people into the people that are mad at you at your following. That's such a petty thing to be upset about.
Yeah.
It's really not that big of a deal. Like, you got to have a real... You got to be real egotistical to think, like, you're so special that we all need to remember you. You know what I mean?
So I can't remember everyone. I'm also, like, I just have bad memory, too, man.
Right.
I do.
Right. Well, we relate there. And then you're on the autism spectrum.
Slightly.
Okay. What is it? Can you define autism, and then we'll find where you are?
I don't know how to define autism.
Okay.
That's the one thing I don't know how to do.
Okay, hold on.
It's like you require needs that... Maybe you can look it up.
Okay, let's see what Google has to say.
What's autism?
Define autism.
The definition of autism: a neurodevelopmental condition of variable severity with lifelong effects that can be recognized from early childhood, chiefly characterized by difficulties with social interaction and communication and by restricted or repetitive patterns of thought and behavior.
Sound like you?
Sound like me.
So the difficulties with social interaction. That's spot on.
I have trouble talking to people, man. I look at other people on the street or whatever having normal conversations. I'm like, how the fuck do they do that?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Do you feel that right now at all?
No, I'm comfortable because I know you well enough.
Okay.
You know, if it's someone I know, it's like, okay, I'm cool talking to them. If it's someone new, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I know but I don't know well enough. Then yeah, I get freaked out. But I know you well enough.
Thank you. Yeah, for me, I have a similar fear, or not fear, but issue socially. As long as, this is why I like the podcast, because as long as it's one-on-one, if it's in a not controlled environment, but you know, open mics and shows aren't a place that I could feel comfortable talking like this.
Yeah.
Like I cannot imagine us at an open mic chit-chatting like this.
No, neither could I.
And so this environment is kind of where I thrive socially.
You can tell.
And then, thank you. and yeah, because I was there, I just disappear. Like, I don't fucking go, I don't talk to nobody. I go hide away in my apartment.
I hide too.
Yeah.
I talk, but I'm also like, I don't want to hide.
And then repetitive patterns of thought and behavior.
Like impulsive, I believe, impulsive thoughts.
You get impulsive. Do you think that's where like the whole suicide thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the I mean, I think everyone has, every now and again, everyone has suicidal thoughts.
Oh yeah.
But for you, it's like, I have the thought, let me act on it immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It is. I think like even Justin's death taught me I am loved in this comedy scene. Yeah. If I were to do it, it would break a lot of people.
Is that part of what keeps you from following through?
Yeah, that's the main reason.
Wow.
I can't pass it to anyone else. I'm not happy in life, but I push through it.
Yeah, that's admittedly concerning.
I know.
Do you?
I don't want to ever kill myself. For me, for my own reasons, because I know I have a lot of like potential at what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like happy with myself. But yeah, I do like when you're suicidal, you have the thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like every time I cross a bridge, I'm like, I could, but I'm not going to.
Do you have the thing? This always happens to me when I'm in a car on a freeway. My brain's like, what if you just open the door?
Yep.
Fucking. You have that thought?
Yeah.
What happens when you have that thought? What do you do?
It's like that's gonna be traumatizing for the passengers.
Yeah.
And so you have to come grab me and like pull me back in.
It's such an interesting.
I have that thought too.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
I'm writing about that.
You're writing about
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, has anyone been in a car and saw like, what if I just opened the door?
Yeah.
That has to be everyone.
I'm sure everyone has those weird.
I've had that. I write down like all my thoughts I want to make in the jokes. Like, have you ever? I'm like, that's one of them. It's funny you mentioned that.
You know, Comedy Bar.
Yeah.
I every time I go to the not the balcony. I don't know if you call it the balcony, but the outside area.
Yep.
I look over and I'm like, what if?
What if I just?
Yeah. I would have to go head first because it feels like Comedy Bar isn't high enough to actually end.
I feel like if you didn't go ahead first, you just being
break
like
your fucking legs.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be fun.
No.
No, but the suicidal stuff. Yeah, I hope it continues to get improve.
It's definitely has. I appreciate that. Like my thing, it has improved so much.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm alive. I'm happy I'm alive.
Yeah. That's good. It's yeah, when anytime I think of suicide, I think of a friend of mine who killed himself.
Oh.
Yeah. It was when he was 1 year younger than me. So it was my freshman year of college, his senior year of high school, which is heartbreaking because it's like, yo, there's so much more time. Like,
Yeah, it's so young.
yeah, I remember thinking in, when you're 18, 19, you can't fathom time like that.
No.
Like once I know you're 25, but like once you're in your 30s and you look back, you're like, oh shit, there was so much that changed or whatever, and he didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
I remember that call. It was awful. So yeah, please don't do that. I don't want that call.
Don't worry, I won't. I don't want anyone wants that call.
Yeah. So, what is your plans after that? You have a show or something?
I'm gonna hit an open mic.
Okay.
Not much. You doing jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. I decided to take a week from going on stage, which is really difficult for me.
I bet.
Yeah, like, that like, well, if I'm not doing stand-up, everyone's moving past me, and I'm gonna get left behind. That, and
which is also not true.
Can you speak to that?
Because like I had that same thought too. It was like I don't think people are gonna be headliners in a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did while you were away. I'm a headliner for the Comedy Cellar. I was like, whoa!
Yeah,
I'm at the Comedy Store. It's been like a fucking week.
Yeah. And other people's success is not connected to your. It's not a 1-to-1. You know what I mean? And obviously you can't completely lose momentum because then you will fall off. But I have this problem where like. I guess I'm a workaholic, man. Like, I shouldn't even be doing this fucking podcast if I'm being honest. I shouldn't, but I'm doing it because I'm here.
I like this podcast though.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of people like it.
Really?
I talked to people. It was like, yeah, Aaron Chase does a really good podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to be on this.
Thank you. I get nervous about it.
Why?
Because it's not funny. Because the perception of it yeah, this is the serious podcast. It's like it's. I don't know, just insecurities, I guess. Like
I get insecure, but like I like serious podcasts because like there's a deeper meaning behind being funny.
Yeah.
Than there is on being funny. It's like.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that people like it, or other comics. I don't know if regular humans. Can someone comment on these fucking? I keep hearing inklings about it, but I don't. No one comments on it. No one like generally tells me.
You have to get rid of the watermark on your TikTok, by the way. It's like your username when you post on Instagram. I'll teach you how to do that.
Yeah, please do that.
I'll teach you.
I'm not the tech guy.
Yeah, I got you.
As I'm sure you could tell, my setup is just.
I like it though. It's like very like simple.
Yeah, simple, stripped down. It's trying to be honest, I suppose.
But yeah, it's all that matters.
Yeah, honesty. No, I'm taking a week from being on stage.
Yeah.
Because I want some time to recharge, and I have difficulty with that. Do you need time to recharge, or do you feel like
I recharge? It takes me like maybe I want to hit a mic for a day or two. Like Saturdays, I don't do any mics.
Are there any mics to do?
No.
I hear the scene before the pandemic was crazy.
Like
so many open mics.
Really?
I hear that pre-pandemic there was like a whole. There's just like they would call. Oh, what was it? There were like red line and blue line comedians. there's so many open mics that if you were near the blue line, you just did open mics in the blue line.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hear. From if you ask like Bob Keane or Brandon.
So you
Kiefer.
couldn't do any other open mics?
You could, but there were so many that if it was convenient for you to just stay on the blue line or stay
You
on
just
the
stick
red
on
line.
the blue line. Oh, wow. Well, the pandemic ruined a lot of shit.
I fucked up a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I think it's gonna take a long time before it gets.
Which I don't really get. Like, it's like just go back and do it again.
Well, I think my theory is most people don't really want to do this profession. Or no, I'm not wording that right. I'm working on this. Most people aren't willing to put the level of effort it takes to really do this.
That's how I feel right now, to be honest. I
By
want to
yourself?
do professional. I'm slacking off with writing.
Same. How do you write? What is your process?
I just write whatever's funny in my head. Well, like, I write the whole thing and I try to find a funny in it.
Okay.
And I say, let me see where I can go with this.
Okay. I'm going to try to express how I write without telling you how to write, because that's an issue I have.
Not good.
For me, it's like I pick a topic or a thing that I think is interesting about me, and then I the webs, like you put a word in the middle and then you connect lines to it, and then I do that. I go on stage and I just say words from that, and then I build the jokes from there. That's annoying. Hold on a second. There we go. It's kind of my approach, and it's a very lazy approach to writing.
So what is a non-lazy way of writing? Like, whatever jokes you tell that if you've written that you think are good, that's not lazy.
It's true.
I think lazy writing's like hacks. I feel like you could do like one or two hacky jokes in your set, but like.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give myself a pat on the back. No one ever could describe me as hacky. I'm definitely not hacky.
I have one hacky joke. I kind of got rid of, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm trying to write more meaningful things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next time I stick around long enough, I want to sit and pay attention to your set so I can get some content. I need to ask the comics to send me their material so I have some like awareness of what people do.
Yeah.
But
how long have you been doing comedy?
8 years.
8 years, shit.
Yeah. And it's starting to become real.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. After 8 goddamn years of just doing this, it's finally feeling like tangible.
Good.
So I hope it doesn't take you 8 years. I hope you get there in like 4 or 5.
I hope I get there in 4, but if I can't, 8 years is fine.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
But people not willing to put that type of work in. I think what happened was people found a groove. There were all these open mics because there was a lot of people willing to have an open mic. It gives them a place to perform. But then when the pandemic washed it all away, it was like that groove that they had got washed away as well, and they just went off to do different shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
glad we powered through it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take a while to build up. I don't know do you know Vic Pondia?
I know Vic Pondia. He was one of the first guys I met out here, too.
Oh, really? What was that like meeting him?
He was fun. He was cool. Interesting guy. I like him.
Yeah.
He's funny.
He's funny. He's done the podcast twice. He actually just did another episode. Will be out in like a few weeks. And he's a crazy person.
Really?
When it comes to let me clarify. When it comes to work, when it comes to his work ethic, it's very few people I have seen that work the way he does. Like if every comic in Chicago put that level of effort that Vic put in, I would sincerely be scared that I would never be successful.
What, does he write like an hour type shit?
Dude has like 5 or 6 specials. He runs all of the rooms. He'll perform like 3 or 4 times a night in completely different parts of the city. When he was doing the episode, you know how the vibe of this podcast is pretty laid back?
Yeah.
Yo, when I was around, like, I didn't feel laid back. I was like, oh, fuck, I need to do something. Like, he is.
I can't clean my room.
I know. Like, as soon as he leaves, I need to go do some push-ups, and then I got to go write. Like, he never stops writing. He never stops doing shows. He never slows down. And it is impressive and weirdly intimidating. You know, it's seeing a guy who is not only is he making it work because he's a headliner now and he's like living off of this shit, but to see what it took to get there scares me. You know, and then what alleviates that fear is reminding myself that I'm not Vic and I don't approach this the same way. I'll have my own lane, you know?
Yeah. When we start comparing ourselves to others, then we go down.
Yeah.
I kind of do that, but I'm like, wait, James, you're also James, so focus on James. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. You're 25, so you grew up with social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I didn't.
Why do you wish you didn't?
I see all there. You know what's fucking crazy? Like I see these TikTokers doing the craziest shit. I'm like, I hope TikTok gets banned.
Really?
I really hate TikTok.
What are they doing? The crazy.
There's a video I saw on Inside Edition of these two like kids, like 16 or 17-year-olds, running over a guy on a bike for views, and the guy died.
I heard. Yeah.
And the guy, this dumb kid, is like, "Yo, I'm gonna get out 30 days or less, slap on the wrist." And he got what, like lifetime in prison, or some shit like that. Oh, so I hope he gets butt fucked in there. Like, fuck that kid for clout, really.
Like what people will do for clout. Crazy.
And I don't blame the app. I just blame like the way like we perceive getting clout. Like you rather do that than put in hard work. Mm-hmm. I got a content creator named Gabe Irwin. He's a YouTuber and like TikToker in LA, and the amount of work he puts into making content is immeasurably crazy. He like does so much to like get like the views he wants, but in a good way. He does like reaction videos, but he puts so much work into like editing videos. I worked for him for a little bit. And I learned so much from this fucking guy. Like that's an ideal content creator. Like even Mr. Beast is an ideal content creator. Mm-hmm. 25 years old, making 82. He made 82 million this year.
It's 85 million, Mr. Beast.
80 something like that. Yeah.
It's hard work, but it's, you know what it is. It's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever been suicidal to the point that you've taken it.
Yeah.
Which is it's impressive. I don't know how
impressive.
Okay. That's not the right word.
Dude, it's so cool.
Yeah, man, the way you got so deep under the skin. I remember being younger. I think I was in high school, and I remember the first time I heard about people like cutting. And I was like, I was sad. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I wasn't happy. And I was like, I guess this makes you feel better. And I remember.
It's painful.
It was so stupid. I remember I got a knife and I like put it to my arm and I like tried to put some pressure and I was like, this really hurts. I'm not going to do this.
I didn't feel it though. I didn't feel it at all.
Feel it?
No, I went so deep I didn't even know what happened. I started bleeding. Oh my God.
It's past the nerve receptors.
Yeah, right? I was supposed to die. If I went like a little bit more deep, I would have been dead.
Why was that the approach? Why was the knife the approach? Why not like a gun? I'm glad you didn't. Let me clarify. I'm so glad.
No, I'm trying to answer this in a funny way.
Yeah.
That's a funny question. Why did you shoot at yourself with a gun, you pussy?
Very efficient, James. Jesus.
Gee, you pussy. Why did you not use a gun, dude?
But
I don't know. That's all I really had on me. I'd have a gun.
Right. That's not. I would never. When people jump off of buildings, that's crazy.
I almost jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't. I was like at the edge. I looked down. I was like, yeah, fuck that.
How can you? I've never been to the Brooklyn Bridge. You can just.
You can't, but you can. Okay, you're not supposed to. It's trespassing.
Right.
But like, it's not like I got charged for like doing that. Cause I got these people saw me. They're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I got called back over, and this old lady who didn't speak a word of English was talking to me. But I can kind of understand what she was saying because I was hugging her and crying.
Yeah.
I don't speak Spanish, but I was like, I get where the words she might be saying.
Yeah.
It was very sweet of her.
It was very sweet of her, and good for you for not. I want to keep encouraging. Good for you for not doing it. I'm asking the questions.
I never will, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm asking the questions because it's interesting to me. That thought process is interesting.
It's a dark place that I don't wish anyone would go to.
Yeah, well, it is antithetical to human instinct.
Yeah, my thing was asking for help was the biggest thing. Like, there's this quote in a book called The Horse, the Boy, the Fox, and the Mole. and a boy.
The horse, the boy, the fox, and the mole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a boy's walking with a horse in the snow, and a boy goes, "What's to the horse? What's the bravest thing you've ever said?" And the horse goes, "Help." Asking for help isn't giving up; it's refusing to give up. So me asking for help really has like impacted my life so much. That's why I don't have like. That's why I would never end my life, because I asking for help is like. I realize how loved I am when I'm asking for help, and that's something that's pushed me through a lot of it. Asking for help.
Why do you think asking for help is so difficult for men in particular?
We don't want to bother people, and we don't like we want people to be worried about us.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to be too intrusive.
Yeah.
Well, they also don't mind.
Yeah, especially when suicide is.
Yeah.
That's usually when people are like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we know we gotta jump in.
But you feel like you're doing okay now.
I'm doing okay. I'm happy with where I'm at.
Do you do anything outside of stand-up?
I'm trying to figure that. I play softball.
Okay.
Some friends.
Yeah.
Not with the comics, but like my friend Matt Bow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm trying to find something to do outside of stand-up. I'm still trying to figure. I know doing stand-up isn't always good, so I'm trying to figure out what I like to do. So I'm still figuring out new things. I do like skateboarding. I like to draw, write, other shit, read.
I will project all of what works for me onto you now. And I keep talking about it because it gives me solace. Tangent. When alcoholics get sober or drug addicts get sober and then all they talk about is like AA and how they're...
Yep.
I am that minus the alcohol and drugs. I'm that for jujitsu. Like, I have been fucking irritating people. I need to... And I've made a rule for myself. I'm not talking about fighting or jujitsu at open mics for a while now. Because I just kept fucking talking about it. But, like, finding a thing outside of stand-up that you enjoy doing that gives you happiness, I think helps.
I gotta get back into model trains, my autistic ass.
Wait, what is it?
I used to collect model trains when I was a kid. And
That's
I used
the
to
most autistic shit.
I know, but it's so cool.
What is cool about model trains?
Well, one, like I'll give you this much. There's a guy in Maryland. I saw this YouTube video of a guy in Maryland who has like a setup in this, like a model railroad in his basement.
Yeah.
So the house is like $5 million. The setup is $4 million. The $4 million layout that he built by hand. That's a lot of fucking money, dude.
That's a lot of money.
That's like $9 million just to set up and the house.
And it sounds like the only thing stopping you from train collecting is the money.
Yeah, it's a very expensive hobby. That's the problem.
Yeah, that.
It's a very expensive hobby.
That's such a strange for a 25-year-old man.
It's all
in 2023.
It's very autistic. Hey, girl, I got this train set up.
There's no better way to get pussy.
Go through the tunnel.
I know, right? That's so wild. Okay. So model trains. What other autistic?
Any models things, I guess, like planes, hang up in my house. Very autistic.
Okay, so you would be like a good collector.
I like collecting things.
What about like do baseball cards matter to people?
I'm not a baseball card collector.
Pokemon.
I play Pokemon.
You actually play it?
On my Game Boy over there.
I saw that. I kept eyeing it. I was
Yeah.
like, this is some autistic shit as well.
I play Game Boy.
What is that Pokemon?
It's Fire Red or Ruby.
You really aren't playing about autism.
I love autism.
That's crazy. So for you, it sounds like things that make you happy are collecting things, little items,
Yeah.
Pokemon, just the idea of collecting stuff.
I like collecting stuff. I may be a hoarder, but
Yeah, that's probably what it leads to. But for now,
yeah.
okay, this will be fun. So, I'll try to describe what it is about jiu-jitsu that connects for me and makes me happy, and I want to hear, if you could break down your thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the physical exertion. It's like I have all this energy, and it's gone by the time I'm done with jiu-jitsu. I do not have the energy to do anything really. The other part of it is I'm learning a skill. Like I like to learn how to do a thing that's practical. And then the third and fourth is it gives me a place to be around men that's healthy. Like I didn't have a lot of healthy male relationships growing up. So it gives me that. And self-defense, being able to fight, gives me sense of confidence. Those are my reasonings. What are your reasonings for what makes you happy?
Well, when it came to trains, it was like I can build my own world, my own imagination. I had a wild and fascinating imagination. I just wanted to like draw it on like to like a board.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was the fact that like people who like collected trains were just like the way they did their layout was impressive. There's a guy, my old neighbor back home in Brooklyn, was like had a setup back home, and like that was his imagination. That was his whole world he created. I found that so inspiring, so amazing. I was like, that's just bring your imagination to real life. Is all I really had for that.
Okay, and I can see then why you connect to stand up.
Yeah,
it's your imagination. So it's like you need an outlet for your imagination.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, that makes sense and good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? This is a nice little podcast.
I like this podcast.
Have you seen anybody else's episode?
I saw a little bit of Harold and Matthew Doyle.
Yeah, Matthew Doyle Perez's episode will go down in infamy in my
That was a good
podcast.
one.
Yeah.
I like Matthew.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
He's it's funny because he's a very good guy. He's a nice person. I just disagree with him on like
Political levels.
Yeah, on a political levels, on like social perspectives. And
But hey, you
stuff.
two got along. That's all that matters. Like you're putting all your things aside.
I think this podcast would be boring if I just agreed with everything.
Yeah.
You're awesome. I'm awesome. All of our opinions are great. You know. All right. Are you ready for the last question?
Yes.
Okay. So I need you to look in the camera. We're gonna pretend the camera is you 5 years from now.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want to yourself, your future self, 5 years from now.
Enjoy your youth while you can, my man. You are loved. Don't do anything stupid to yourself. We all love you. I'll see you in 5 years.
All right. Nice and succinct. Let's do this picture.
Hell yeah, bro.